Good afternoon, grade 7s. How are you today? Hello, grade 7s. Hello, hello. How was your weekend? I hope everyone is fine. I can see people, they're still coming in. Others are new. I can see new names. That's good. Welcome, everyone. Hello, Molly, Boy Pillow. Hello. I hope you are okay wherever you are. I can see a Kanye. Hello, Kanye. Molly, I think anytime this week you'll get your marks. I'm not sure when. Anytime this week, okay? Did you get for the other subjects? Did you get your results for other subjects? Okay, I think this week you'll be given, okay? All right. So I was just waiting for others who are coming in. I can see Angelina is coming in. She's late. So I hope everyone is okay wherever you are. Welcome to another lesson for social sciences. I'm your teacher, Miss Rumbi. So today we're going to focus on population concepts. Population concept. Have you ever heard of the word population? What does it mean? What does population mean? Does anyone know the meaning of population? Hello, Angelina, how are you? We have just started. Ah, that's good if you're good. I was asking, do you know what is population? Population? Boipilo? Incorrect. Kanye? Okay. Inhabitants. Molly? The amount of people that live in one place. Okay, that's very good. The number of people, not amount, okay? It's the number. That's very good, Molly. Very good answer. Others, what do you say? What is population? When you hear the word population, what do you think of? What do you understand? Okay, so let's just proceed with the lesson. Okay. So just a quick recap on what we did previously in the geography lesson. Those who were here in week 2, do you still remember about the structure of the earth? We covered the structure of the earth, you remember? We looked at the core, the mantle, the crust. Grade 7s, do you still remember about the structure of the earth? Okay, I thought I was talking to myself. I don't see any answers. And then we also looked at how the crust moves, introduction to tectonic plates and plates movement. So we looked at this in week 2. All right. And what else did we look at? We looked at volcanoes, their location around the world. We also looked at why volcanoes occur, you remember? Good. And then we also looked at earthquakes, their location of around the world. Also, we looked at the causes of earthquakes, their link to plate movements. Okay, remember we're also saying earthquakes are caused by plate movements. Okay, Then the location of earthquakes and volcanoes. What do you remember about the location of earthquakes? The ring of fire. Okay. Ring of fire. All right. And then we also looked at the effects of earthquakes, including injury and loss of life, disease, displacement of people, damage to infrastructure, fires, and tsunamis. So we looked at how earthquakes affect people and the environment. We also looked at why some communities are at higher risk than others and how to reduce the impact, preparing for and responding to earthquakes. All right, so that's what we did in our last lesson of geography in week 2. Okay, it's the same thing. Why other communities, why some communities are at higher risk than others. Okay, so we did this. Now, for today, we're starting a new topic called population concepts. That's why I was asking, do you know the meaning of population? So this is the main topic, and then we're going to look at these 3 subtopics: birth rates, death rates, and population growth rates. So all of these, they are called population concepts. They explain different rates within population. Okay. All right. So I want you to listen very carefully. Do you understand, grade 7? For some of you, it's a new concept. Okay. So what is population? When we talk about population, we always hear in the news, they talk about population of this country, population around the world. What does it mean? It simply means a number of people living in an area. Number of people living in an area. So, how is the population obtained or collected? Those numbers, how are they collected? They use what we call a census. A census is used to obtain information of the population in an area. So, for example, at a particular time, or every year, or every 5 years, every country takes a census within its borders. They want to see how many people are in our country. They want to have those statistics. So they take a census in order to obtain information about the population, the people living in that country. So that's when you see the people will be employed to move from one house to another, checking how many people are living there. You are a family of 4 or 3. Are you working? And things like that. So it's called a census. Let's look at birth rates. What is a birth rate? Birth rate. It's nothing complicated. As the term says, birth rate means it is the rate of what? Of birth. Okay. It is also called crude birth rate. Number of live births per 1,000 people per year. So it is the number of babies that are born per 1,000 people per year. It is called birth rate. Number of babies being born per 1,000 people per year. And then we look at death rates. This is about people dying in a country. It is also called crude death rate or mortality rate. It is also known as mortality rate. When they say something is mortal, a human being is mortal, he or she dies. Okay, so it is called mortality rate. This is the number of deaths per 1,000 people per year. Okay, so here we're talking about death, and there we're talking about birth. Okay, so these rates, they are very important when you are talking about population in an area. You have to look at the birth rate. You have also to look at the death rate. Okay. As you can see in this picture, countries are being shown for their birth rate in 2017. So this information was taken in 2017. It's showing birth rate across the world, around the world. Let's look at the different colors and which countries they've got high birth rates. It means the babies that are being born in those countries, they are different from one country to another. Let's look at this color, the darker red one. Let's look at the countries that have got the high birth rate. It's between 35.1% to 45%. Yeah, it's very huge, you can see. And these countries are mostly found in Africa. Can you see? West Africa there, Eastern Africa there, and the Central Africa. They've got high birth rates. It means more babies are born in these areas. Can you see, grade 7? More babies are being born in those areas in Africa. And also this small one, this small country, I think it's in the Middle East. That is the only one that has got a highest birth rate. Let's look at this one, the orange one. Where do we find it? Also in Africa. You can see also this central part of Africa. And also here, this is Zimbabwe. This is Madagascar, also here. Also here in this Western country there. I've forgotten which country is this. And also this small, that one in the Middle East. It is also a high birth rate. And then the yellow part. Let's see the yellow part. Okay, so far, can you see for these three colors, we are only focusing on Africa, which means Africa has got high birth rate. More babies are being born in Africa. So the yellow part, you can see also this Northern African countries. And then this one, Namibia. This one I know is Namibia. Okay. And what else? This small country also. And this one. So they also have 25.1 to 30% of birth rate. And then we go to green one. The green are fewer. We also find South Africa and Botswana. Can you see? And also this country in South America. And also this country in North America. And also the green part there in the Middle East. And also this one in Asia. This one also, the green part. So they've got about 20.1 to 25%. Okay, it's not that high, it's not that low. It's in the middle, the green part. And then we have the light blue, South America there, North America, also parts of Asia. They've got about 15 to 20% birth rate, which is not that bad. And then the darker blue, we have parts of South America. I can see maybe Brazil there. And North America, United States of America. And what else? Russia. This is Russia. Also other parts of Asia, Australia, This is Australia, New Zealand. So they've got about 10 to 15%. Their birth rate is lower than these countries in Africa. And then this purple one, the lowest birth rate. So they don't give birth to many babies. Okay, it's about 6 to 10%. These countries in Europe, I think these are Germany, Italy, those European countries there. And this one also. So these countries have got the lowest birth rate. So can you see the differences? So basically the developed countries, what do you mean by developed countries? These are countries like United States, Australia, Russia, Brazil. They've got what? They've got low birth rate compared to developing countries. Developing, we mean these countries like in Africa. They've got high birth rate. People are just giving birth to more babies. Okay. All right, so that is birth rate. Okay, class 7th. And then death rate on this diagram, you can see as well. Africa has got high death rate. You can see this color, 21+%. Can you see the darker colors? They are here. And also here, Russia. Oh, people, they die a lot in Russia. I wasn't aware. Can you see? And the light colors, can you see? The percentage is lower in countries like these ones, developed countries. Developed countries, they have lower death rate. Okay, so we're going to explain further to understand what causes this. Some countries to have high death rate, some countries to have low birth rate. We're going to look at that today. Okay, there are many different reasons for that. Okay, let's start by looking at population growth rate. This is the rate at which population changes. It can decrease or increase. That's why I put this in brackets. The rate at which population changes, increase or decrease in a particular place during a period of time, usually in a year. So remember, population always changes every year in a particular, you understand? So that's why the population growth rate has to change. It's not like people will live forever. Okay, some people, they die, others are being born. Population growth can be calculated in 2 ways. A, natural growth. So we're talking of natural growth. The births minus deaths. It is called natural growth. So we separate the death from the birth. And then B, mechanical growth. Immigrants minus immigrants. Immigrants, what are immigrants? These are the people who come into the country, the foreign nationals. Immigrants are the people who are living in the country. When the South Africans go to other countries, we'll call them immigrants. Okay, so mechanical growth, we take the immigrants, we subtract from immigrants. So these are the 2 calculations for population growth rate. We can use natural growth or mechanical growth. Okay. All right. And then we look at infant mortality rate. It is also abbreviated as IMR, infant mortality rate. This is the number of deaths of babies under 1 year of age per 1,000 live births. So remember, there are so many numbers of babies who die under the age of 1 year. Do you understand? So it is called infant mortality rate. It is also called infant death rate. IMR, that is the infant mortality rate, tells us more about the health status of a population. But how does it do that? How do we know about the health status of a population? Just by looking at the IMR. A high IMR shows that A, there's poverty. B, there's lack of medical services. So if a country is experiencing high mortality rate, infant mortality rate, maybe it is because there is lack of what? Medical services. So the babies, they die. There are no medicines, okay, to treat babies. There is also hunger and malnutrition. People do not have food, adequate food. So they starve. And in the end, babies, they also die because there's no food to give them. All right. They don't have proper nutrition, which is called malnutrition. It is not proper nutrition. IMR for developing countries, such as African countries, are usually high. Can you see now? Developing countries, our country also included, it is in Africa. The IMR is also high. Babies are dying below the age of 1 year. They are dying. IMR for developed countries such as European, American, and Australia are low because these countries are developed. They have the medical services. Do you understand? There's no poverty in those countries, so babies do not die. So that's the difference between the two. IMR for developing is high. IMR for developed countries is low. So always remember this, the reasons for high IMR: poverty, lack of medical services. There's also hunger and malnutrition. So this affects what? Infant mortality rate. Developed countries have a low IMR because we're talking of European countries. These are the developed countries. United States of America, Australia. So why do they have a low infant mortality rate? Fewer babies die in their countries. Why? Because they have high standard of living. So it is said that if you've got a good standard of living, you are enjoying life, the rate of babies to die is low, it's less. There is clean drinking water. Remember, in Africa, we've got a problem of clean drinking water. We don't have that. Our water maybe most of the time is polluted, it's unclean. And this causes what? Diseases like diarrhea, which results in what? Babies, they die. Also, they eat enough healthier foods. Remember, people in developed countries, they can afford good, healthier foods. Unlike us in Africa, we can't afford most of the time healthier foods. So when they eat enough healthier foods, it's for their own advantage. They lower what? The infant mortality rate. They have good medical services. In developed countries, their hospitals are the best. Their clinics, are of good quality. Babies are taken care of when they are young. They are given vaccinations, which limits their death. Okay. They have improved and advanced medical equipment in developed countries. Remember, we're talking about developed countries. They also have improved and advanced medical equipment, unlike our countries in Africa. Okay, remember, we are still developing. So we don't have this advanced medical equipment. Okay. We don't have the right equipment to monitor our babies when they're still young, or to monitor their health. So that is the problem. So it affects what? Infant mortality rate. Okay. We move on. And then we look at life expectancy. So far we've looked at birth rate, death rate, population growth rate, infant mortality rate, IMR. You're supposed to remember those terms, okay? They're very important, those concepts. Now we look at life expectancy. What is life expectancy? It is also known as LE. It is the average number of years a person or group of people is expected to live. So, for example, they can say in South Africa, the life expectancy is 65 years. What do they mean by that? They simply mean that people in South Africa live up to 65 years. That is their life expectancy. They don't go beyond 65. Isn't they do research? So they calculate the average. They say, oh, most of the people, they live up to 65 years. So it is called life expectancy. So it is different from one country to another, do you understand, this life expectancy? Another country can have a life expectancy of 90 years. People, they grow old. Other countries can have life expectancy of 40 years. You reach 40, you die. Most of the people, that's what they mean. The current average life expectancy in the world, the following factors affect life expectancy. A, economic conditions. How do economic conditions affect life expectancy? In other words, the economy of the country. It can affect what? The average number of years people in that area are expected to live. Are they working? Can they sustain themselves? Can they support their families? Can they afford to buy food? Economic conditions. Because if there's poverty, the life expectancy is lowered. Also, the gender. Usually it is said women live longer than men. So that's what we mean by gender. Okay, they say men are exposed to diseases more than women. And then C, availability of medical care. Remember, when a country has got good healthcare services, medical care, this can also impact on the life expectancy. People can live longer if they are receiving what? Medical care. If they are receiving treatment, they can live longer. Also, adequate diet. The food. Are people receiving the enough food? healthy food. So remember, in poor countries, most people, they die at a very early age, like maybe in the early 30s or in the late 30s. It's because of poverty. There's no food, hunger. They starve to death. You understand? And then diseases, they also affect what? Life expectancy. Like now with COVID-19, so many diseases. HIV and AIDS is a problem, it's a challenge. What else? Cholera, malaria, all of these diseases, they affect what? Life expectancy. So these factors, all of them, they affect life expectancy. Now, I want you to research this as part of homework also. What is the current average life expectancy in the world? That's why I didn't put a figure here. Just find out for yourself, what is the current average life expectancy in the world? You can also check for South Africa. What is our life expectancy now, the average? All right. Okay, so this is life expectancy. The average number of years a person or group of people is expected to live. All right, grade 7. We've come to the end of the lesson. So remember, we covered on how many aspects? Birth rate, also called BR, death rate, DR, IMR, infant mortality rate, population growth rate, PGR, and also focused on what? Life expectancy, LE. All right. I'm just going to share your homework. This is your homework. Take a screenshot, or if you are copying, question 1 and 2. So for question 1, you are defining those words. And then for question 2, you explain how IMR and LE differs for developing and developed countries. Just let me know when you're done. Type for me, done, done, done. Thank you, Mianas. You're done. Molly, done. Good. Angelina, done. Make sure you do your homework, grade 7. Okay. Kanye, done. Yes, well, that's very good, Angelina. Do your homework. Yes. I hope everyone is done. Okay. So if there's nothing else, I'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Same time. Take care. Stay indoors, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.